Okay, there we are. We are live. All right, we are live. I guess, what's up, Mariah? I guess before we start today's topic, I want to give a special shout out to some very special friends of mine that I will be doing a YouTube collab with. Their YouTube channel will be by the name of Unprofessional Voice Actors. Oh, no, not you. I promise to keep the names anonymous, as their wishes. So, yep, there. What we'll be doing is like special voice acting projects, like Marvel, DC, or maybe even something Star Wars related. All that cool stuff. They wanted me to mention that, so there you go. I'm very excited to do that, and so what can I say? I love anything acting related. So there's that. And now let's get to how about Doctor Who? I heard I heard that some actor was returning to the show after a while, after like 15 years or so. But I don't watch Doctor Who. I've seen a bit of it, and I've seen a bit of it over the years, but I've never watched it. I've never watched like a full season. Some good tea. But second. Peter Capaldi, favorite is your favorite Doctor? I don't know that one. The Doctor Who that I watched, even though I didn't watch the show all the time, the Doctor Who that I watched was David Tennant. So there is that. He's an awesome actor, by the way. But now, let's get to today's topic. Oh, all right. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the series that I that me that my friends and me will be recording for this special voice acting project. We will be doing The Flash. I'll be voicing the villains Gorilla Grodd and Captain Cold. I've actually been reading up a bit on who these characters are, and they told me a bit about them, so I can know like how to voice them and what kind of personality and all, and to give them and all that. So there's that. I'm really excited to get started with this. Who knows what it could lead to? Okay, we got 4 people watching and just 1 like. Now, let's get to the topic. Today we're going to be talking about Halloween Kills and how I think it can still be released this year and they don't have to worry about low profits. So, some of you may not know or may not even watch Halloween at all, but Halloween Kills was delayed a full year from now to next October of 2021, October 15th. And fans are pissed, me included. But with this is the fact that it's connected to a certain thing that Disney is doing with one of their movies, I think that Universal Pictures can do the same thing with Halloween Kills. What Disney's doing is they're going to be releasing Mulan on Disney Plus as an exclusive for a price of like $30 around there. So that way they can still make a profit off it. Like I said, this is a good move on their part because they're obviously thinking, all right, if we're gonna skip a theatrical release, we're not just gonna put it on Disney Plus for free. Let's put it on there for a price. So that way, as far as this COVID-19 stuff, we can figure out a way to handle it and still make a profit off of this. So they put it on there for a price. $29.99, I think they're putting it on there for, on September 4th, I believe. Now, how this connects into Halloween Kills is because I think Universal can do the exact same thing and still earn their money back. Because for one, the budget for the movie is $30 million, and whatever the price is that they could put it on demand for, they're bound to make a profit off of it. Not just from all the fans waiting to see this, but just probably eager moviegoers in general that want to see just want to see a new movie. Now, the Universal said no. Universal said no. We're gonna save a theatrical release because we don't want to risk the movie bombing if we release it any other way. But for one, if Disney is taking a risk with Mulan, which is a $200 million movie, by the way, that the movie was made it cost $200 million to make, but they're willing to take a risk and put it on their streaming service for $30. That goes to show you that they at least have some kind of confidence that they'll make their money back. I just think that Universal needs to get the dollar signs of their eyes, stop being selfish, and remember that they have fans to cater to. It's just not good business to continue to piss their fans off like this. But that's just me. Mulan isn't even going to be a musical and there won't be any Mushu. That's what I'm excited for. Because they're trying to separate themselves from it. They're trying to think more out of the box. Right? Because they're thinking, all right, we're going to remake Mulan. And this goes to any of their other Disney films, by the way. If we're going to remake one of our classics, then we got to think outside the box. Sure, it could be a musical. They said there might be a Mushu of Phoenix played by Kevin Hart. I don't know. But what I've loved about the Disney remakes, at least the ones that have actually done this, by the way, is how they still keep the story that people are familiar with, but put twists in it to make it feel different. Narrative deviations and all that. They can still have all the songs and the great character moments that y'all love, but it's different, if you get what I mean. Like, especially anyone who's seen like the Beauty and the Beast remake, the Aladdin remake, you probably get what I mean. You probably notice how different it feels, but at the same time, you recognize it as the same story. That's where Lion King failed spectacularly. Which, I don't get how we got two, or what was it? In 2019, there was Tramp, Aladdin. We got three incredible Disney remakes that year with Lady and the Tramp, Aladdin, and Dumbo that did so remarkably well with the narrative deviations, but still telling a familiar story. But then we get Lion King the exact same freaking year, and it's just a shot-for-shot rehash. I get angry whenever I have to talk about Lion King. That's why sometimes I wish It was a certain kind of beverage in this, not tea. But yeah, it was a bit short to talk about, but not in the ending of the stream yet. But that's how I think Universal can save Halloween Kills for this year. Getting back to that topic, do what Disney's doing with Milan, release it on demand for a price. They'll get their profit back. I mean, they'll make their money back, not just from the eager fans that want to see this, but just moviegoers in general that want to see a new movie this year. Period. I know, Mariah. Like, I get what you're saying about Lion King, but here's the problem with the Lion King remake, though. I do not deny the fact that the technology, the visuals, and the way it looked was visually impressive. It's a beautiful looking movie, but the problem is the story, the script. It's just the same movie all over again. No new changes or narrative deviations or anything. I mean, you had a couple new things, obviously, don't get me wrong, but as far as something majorly new, you like Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast did, new subplots and all that. It was just the same things we already knew, just unnecessarily expanded on. But yeah, I could make a whole stream subject about how I think the Lion King remake was bullshit, but um, I guess now is a better time than ever just to get into a brief Q&A. Tyler says, "Did you hear about Popcross Studios? They made another amalgamation between." Oh, they did. When I'm done here, I'll have to look at that then. Oh, Mariah says, "Okay, but some people didn't like how they changed those movies." But that's the thing, though. If you're gonna remake your classics, don't just give them the same stuff in the way that it's not just shot for shot the same. There's nothing wrong with challenging your viewers instead of just giving them the same shit. Watch the Nostalgia Critics review of Lion King, like everyone here in the chat room. Look up the Nostalgia Critics review of the Lion King remake, Lion King 2019. He sums it up perfect. But yeah, Phoenix with Starfire. I am gonna have to look that up then. Wolverine with Beast Boy. I personally think that Wolverine would have been done with Robin, but then that's just me. Okay, I'll give that to you, Mariah. The Elm Street remake was bad, but here's the thing, though. That remake at least tried to go for an original story. It wasn't good, but it wasn't trying to rehash anything from the other movies. I mean, okay, they did some things, but it wasn't like completely rehashing storylines from other movies or characters from other movies. That kind of thing. It's for the most part, even though there were some callbacks to other movies, it was mostly its own original story, but it was just a bad movie. Had an amazing performance from Jackie Earl Haley, by the way. He was an amazing Freddy Krueger. He, it's just that he was stuck in a bad story, a bad movie. Yeah. All right. Q&A time. Send in your questions, because as I always say, I am an open book. The girl in X-Men Dark Phoenix? You mean Sophie Turner? I don't remember Sophie. I know I don't watch Doctor Who all the time, but I think I would know if Sophie Turner was in Doctor Who. She was in Game of Thrones. I'll just look that up real quick. Not saying you're wrong. Not saying you're wrong. I'm just gonna look that up and see if that's true. Because if Sophie Turner was in Doctor Who, I'll have to watch those certain episodes then. Oh, shit, you're right. She was. Wasn't trying to say you were wrong or anything, but I just thought I'd look it up to see if that's true, because for the most part, I just know Sophie Turner is a younger Jean Grey, from the X-Men prequels and all that. Tyler says, "Did you hear that they restart production of Falcon Winter Soldier? Looking, I did. They're finally getting started on some of their things. Send Black Widow straight to Disney Plus. It'd suck that we wouldn't be able to see the first big return to the MCU in a long time on the big screen, but nevertheless, I just want to see some MCU right now. I'm missing it. She was also in Avengers Endgame and Infinity. Who, Sophie Turner? No, she wasn't. Or was she? She couldn't have been. No. No, Mariah, Sophie Turner wasn't in Endgame or Infinity War. She was just in X-Men Apocalypse and X-Men Dark Phoenix. Quarantine is coming on stuff, yeah. Trust me, I know. But I might be getting a new job. Well, not a new job, but I might be getting a job soon at the Pop Murphy's here in Sutherland. So she played that robot alien. That wasn't her. I looked it up, and Sophie Turner was not in Avengers: Infinity War or Endgame. That was someone else. If you're talking about the character Proxima Midnight, I think that's her name. Oh, you mean Nebula? No, that Sophie Turner was not Nebula. What was her name? She was played by Karen Gillian. I'm prob. Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Karen Gillian what played Nebula. It was not Sophie Turner. But any more questions, guys? Keep them coming. I want to stay on here for at least. We're only about 20 minutes in, but I'll keep this going to half an hour, and if it's going well soon, then I'll keep it going to an hour. I always like to play it by ear. Actually, yeah, Mariah, it was Karen Gillian or Gillian. I might be butchering her last name, but what a surprise! Karen Gillian is also in Doctor Who. Really? Let's see. Yep, she was. The Rooster Brothers said something about a special project, by the way, which they hinted at the name. What could that be? I haven't heard about this. This must have been announced just today. I don't know. Is it the Secret Invasion thing? I heard them making some comments saying that if a Secret Invasion movie were to be made, it could like floor the ambition of the entire Infinity Saga. Oh, Marvel versus DC? Would this be a movie or a comic? If it'd be a movie, that'd be amazing. Probably hard for Disney to get the rights to DC, but then again, they could buy Star Wars. I'm pretty sure getting DC, the price that they would pay to get DC would be the equivalent of pocket money for me. You know, Peter Capaldi is going to be in Suicide Squad 2. He voices Rabbit from Christopher. Really? Hmm. Yep. Now, for the record, Moran, with all the stuff you're seeing about Peter Capaldi being the better Doctor Who, I am not disputing the fact that he probably was an awesome Doctor Who. I'm just going by schematics with, quoting what I've seen from Doctor Who, and the only Doctor Who I've seen is David Tennant, and he was awesome. I researched too, Mariah. I'm just saying the only Doctor Who I've seen is David Tennant, and he was an awesome Doctor Who. So there's that. I'm not saying he's bad. I just haven't seen his Doctor Who. I'm sure he's great. I'm just saying I have only seen David Tennant's Doctor Who, and I'm familiar with Matt Smith's Doctor Who. I just haven't seen that one either yet. Started production on the Hawkeye show. That good. It's about time we got something from him. Up until Endgame, he's been pretty underused in the MCU. So it'll be nice to see him get the spotlight in something. Credit, they gave him a major role in Endgame, so that was pretty good. So, but now that he finally has his own show, he'll finally have the spotlight again. And hopefully, this won't be the last we see of him in the movies either. I want him to still be an Avenger. Can I say that actor's awesome and the character's awesome. I know he's been underused in the MCU, but everything I've seen from Hawkeye, I've loved. The Jane Foster debacle, what would that be? Is this something about the movies or the comics? Let me see. Scandinavian fans got ticked at the whole female Thor thing, and it goes against Norse mythology. Well, to give him credit, the give Marvel credit is you've told me that it is something that happens in the comics, so that's something that's established, so that they're just going by that. Need to make a movie of a Squirrel Girl. I don't know, Squirrel Girl. Something you'll come to know about me is I know some things about certain characters, and just all goes like that. But yeah, as far as my comic knowledge goes, I just go by the movies. I've read a lot of comics, but it's been a while, and again, my most of my knowledge it just goes by the what I've seen in the movies. Speaking of, hey, I'm just saying I've never heard of Squirrel Girl. I'm just saying, Mariah. Jeez, they did, huh? Well, I guess that is cause to be worried, possibly, because I don't want them to ruin Chris Hemsworth Chris Hemsworth's character. So, I guess Thor: Love and Thunder is something to be worried about, possibly. Maybe it could be their first bad movie. I'm hoping not, because I love Thor's character, and fairly enough, I do like Jane Foster. So, on the one hand, I'm thinking, how bad could it be? But at the same time, what you just said, maybe there could be something to worry about. Who knows? Back, wash this out. Be right back. No, I haven't, Mariah. It's not out of hatred. I just, by schematics, I have not seen or been exposed to any of this squirrel stuff. I'm just saying. Like the Doctor Who stuff you're talking about, it could be good. I just haven't seen it yet. Never heard of it either until you brought it up. But something else here. You don't have to be sad. I'm not insulting these characters. I'm just saying I've never heard of it or I've never seen it before. Hold on a second. Sure, you can. Just being honest that I just haven't seen any of that stuff. But Tyler, that's fine. When we meet up again, you can just tell me. Yeah, let's keep the questions going, guys. Come on. I don't want to end this early. Ah, Ryan. Okay. Well, they did emasculize the original Thor, Jane Foster. That's that's true. I mean, I haven't read the comics, I'm not familiar with all of it, but from my perspective, as a character, I do like Jane Foster, and the fact that Natalie Portman is coming back gives me confidence. I'm excited for Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm gonna give it a fair chance, just like I have every single AM MCU movie. So, no offense though, people out there. No, I allow opinions here. Like it's not just all me. Like if we all think different things, that's fine. It makes for good conversation. Good back and forth. I encourage that. I encourage all the different opinions and all that. For a good example, there are a lot of friends I know who hate Last Jedi, but I have turned around on the movie immensely. The stuff with the stuff with Luke Skywalker and the revelations with the character used to bother me, but the more I've thought about it, the more I've started to appreciate it more because it ties into the themes of how failure can be the best teacher and all that. So, even though at the very beginning I never gotten close to hating The Last Jedi, I like it a lot more now because, like I said, I appreciate a lot more about Luke's character. Pretty random thing to talk about, but it's a good example. Because like I said, I encourage different opinions. Whether we agree or don't agree, that's fine. We're all still friends and we can get along. I do hope that they do right by Thor. It wasn't fair. Actually, I mentioned Chris Hemsworth before, but is he actually coming back? We know that Natalie Portman's coming back for Thor: Love and Thunder, but is Chris Hemsworth gonna be coming back? That's like I don't know if that's confirmed or not yet. Like that's a if you know anything about that, then I gotta know. You know me? That's why you're gonna die alone with cats. Me? I only have one cat and two dogs. Two adorable little dogs, actually, and I love them all. Don't even get Ryan started on his cats. So I'll just leave it there. Chris Hemsworth said he'll be Thor as long as they want him. Good. They need someone from the original lineup because we lost Black Widow and Iron Man and Steve Rogers. Those three. So we need someone. And Thor, I think, would be the best out of that original roster to keep around for obvious reasons. He is a mean Ravenclaw. I mean, Ravenclaw, the Harry Potter stuff. Mariah, sometimes the things you say are an enigma, but that's why I enjoy our conversations. Hulk is the best out of the Avengers. He's one of the best, definitely one of the best characters in the MCU, even though they changed actors during the beginning from Edward Norton to Mark Ruffalo. Like everyone, I'm curious as to what Edward Norton could have brought to the role had he been in all the movies, but even though I don't like The Incredible Hulk, I will say I do like Edward Norton's performance alone. The movie The Incredible Hulk, the one Edward Norton is in. I was saying even though I don't like that movie, I will say that I do like Edward Norton's performance alone, and the visuals were pretty cool. I like the action, the performances, but that sometimes they're just, for the most part, the movie was just a drag and kind of boring. I what whatever action there was in the movie did save it for me, so it wasn't a complete loss. In fact, I'm bored so much by the Incredible Hulk that I don't include it with my MCU collection. Because you had Iron Man 1 released, then the Incredible Hulk was released, then they did Iron Man 2. I don't even watch the Incredible Hulk in my MCU marathons anymore. I just go straight from Iron Man 1 to Iron Man 2. What Hulk personality do you think they will turn to? The original or the immortal Hulk? To be honest, I'm not familiar much with the immortal Hulk, but um, or unless maybe they did do something like that in the movies, but I just don't know. But I guess just to be in the same side, I mean, at the safe side, I guess they'd go back to the original. But Hulk's arm was fried at the end of Endgame, so what the heck's gonna be going on there? Are they just gonna be doing freaking just a one-armed Hulk or something? I don't know. Heck, I'm asking y'all questions. Y'all should be asking me questions. That's what I'm here for. Oh, they were going back. I won't tell Devin. Right? Unless he sees the stream and he'll see the stuff in the chat room. Then other than that I won't say anything, but it'll pop up in the chat room and how am I gonna do Captain Cold? Well, I've looked up a bit of the character, and I guess it'll just be the simple, normal voice. Because at first I thought I was gonna go with something like a gruff, intimidating voice, like Darth Maul from the Clone Wars. But and it's still a work in progress. But when we meet up again, I'll give you a bit of improv. I'm I am I am excited. I'm like hyped out of my mind though to do Gorilla Grodd though. Like I'm not that familiar with the character, but it's just good to try new things. So, like I said, we when we meet up, and as far as how I'm gonna do it, I'll surprise you. And I should let you know though, like I said, I might be getting a job at Papa Murphy's, so that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be able to meet up with you guys anymore and do this stuff anymore. But it just won't be as much. You know what I mean? Speaking of which, we're about 40 minutes in, but can y'all type it? Let me know in the chat room. Can y'all hear me? And can y'all see me just fine? Sometimes I worry about that. Or heck. Oh, we can good. Sometimes I worry about that. Not that there's anything wrong with my devices or anything. It's just you know what I mean. All right, we're about 40 minutes in. We'll keep if y'all are for it. We'll keep this going for about another 20 minutes, and from there, if it's still going pretty good, then we'll see how much longer. But Speak. I guess I should ask y'all. Have y'all gotten around to seeing Apocalypse War yet? Because I am dying to talk to you guys about that. Again, not gonna give away spoilers until I know you guys have seen it, but I just want to know, like, have I know you haven't, Mariah, but like Tyler and have you and everyone else, have you all seen Apocalypse War yet? Or not yet? Yeah. Like I said, just to like re-clarify my opinion, I loved everything about the movie up until the end. I know you accidentally looked up the ending and all, but so you probably get like how I would be kind of so so you can probably understand like what about the ending I'd be all like mixed on and divided on. But again, I loved everything about the movie all the way through up until that last part with the ending. Like that was just I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I could call it like a satisfying end to this continuity of these animated movies. I loved this universe though. Like for me, unless they are able to get their shit together with the live action DCEU, then I'm sorry. These animated films, this would be the DCEU that I go to. They had clear character development. Again, actual characters, actual development, compelling stories, and it's just this is a DC universe done right. If you get what I'm saying. Not that they probably didn't have like a roadmap planned all the way through you like Kevin Feige did with the MCU, but nevertheless, this was a DC universe done right with this little series of animated movies. I loved it all the way through. Except for Justice League Dark. I didn't hate that movie. It's just probably because the fact that I wasn't familiar with any of those characters. I mean, obviously Batman was in it and Constantine, but it just felt too weird and out of place. It was just it was a weird movie. Not bad. Again, didn't hate it. But at the same time though, it probably is my least favorite out of these 15 animated DC films. My favorite though, oh, don't even get me started on what my favorite could be. That there's so many that could be my favorite. Because again, aside from Justice League Dark, I loved every single other. I loved every single other of these movies. They could have been a bit longer though, I'll admit, but nevertheless, quality over quantity is, I guess, is what they always say. 3 people watching and 2 likes. It's pretty good, I guess. Guess I'll ask you. Avengers Assemble. Just for like saying. Avengers Assemble. Uh, I wish my theater experience with Avengers Endgame could have been like the stuff you probably saw on YouTube, like those big theater reactions, all the people screaming and applauding, those kinds of theater experiences. It's just you never get we've never gotten those kinds of theater experiences down here, have we? Where people are just screaming and applauding, going freaking nuts. That's the theater experience I've always wanted. But I guess to get something like that, I'd have to go to an IMAX theater or something like in the big city. He better have that quote in his books. You tell him that. Ryan, if you're watching, if they do not say Avengers Assemble at any point in those books, just remember. That's iconic. Come on. I get you want to change stuff. Don't get me wrong. I've loved a lot of all the changes, going original routes and all that. But you can have that one thing. Avengers Assemble. Like I said with that question though, I couldn't decide. I can't decide yet which of the DC animated films is my favorite yet, but who knows? Maybe you guys have a favorite. It's a bit quiet, but I'll try to keep this going with some kind of subject. So we've talked about Marvel and DC, freaking Disney, and I got my Halloween Kills topic out of the way. So what else can we talk about? Justice League War is an incredible one. I'll say that. Again, like all the films, it's a pretty short one, but I guess quality matters over quantity. But is that something you would agree with, Tyler? Like this is my opinion, but I don't know if you think this, but unless the main DC universe gets their stuff together, then do you think the DC animated films are superior in terms of building a universe and actually succeeding in the way the Marvel did? Because that's just me. Obviously, the live action movies, they've had their hits. I freaking loved Birds of Prey. And Suicide Squad is bad in terms of story and all that. But what always keeps me going back to it is the fact that the characters and the way they interacted off of each other is what saved it. Especially with Will Smith and Margot Robbie, Deadshot, and Harley Quinn. The characters were great. It was just a cliche, very predictable story. And I guess to go back to the beginning, Man of Steel. I used to think it was a boring movie, but now I really like it. I think Henry Cavill is an incredible Superman, and I hope that they don't replace him because unless they can bring Christopher Reeve back from the dead, then I don't think you can get a better Superman replacement than Henry Cavill. Batman v Superman and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is a mess if you watch the theatrical cut. But if you watch the 3 hour extended cut, much better. I guess that's the main consensus with a lot of people is that the extended cut of Batman v Superman is much better. And then you have, I guess I already went through Suicide Squad, bad story, but great character interactions. Then I think Wonder Woman was next. Really good. I'll admit the villains were. Oh, I revealed his Justice League roster. Pretty good. Yeah, Wonder Woman was good. I was loving it way up till the end until they revealed the villains. It wasn't a bad reveal. It wasn't. It was competently done. It was just kind of. I don't know. Not bad, but I guess that's just it. I don't know. Then you had freaking what's next? The Justice League movie. When I first saw it in the theaters, I mean, obviously I was well familiar with it. There were a lot of changes and everything that happened, and I've talked about it in other streams, but I did really like it. I did really like it, and yeah, Mariah, I do these streams for a reason. So turn off my phone. There. If you want to talk on Messenger later, we'll talk. But I do these streams for a reason. Jesus fucking Christ. 1 second. Christ. Alright, that was awkward, but like I said, which one was next? Justice League. I did like it at first when when I first saw it in theaters. Oh my fucking god! Oh, I'm just gonna do this. Alright, let's get through this. Shit. That was awkward. I did, Tyler. I turned the sound off. But like now, Justice League. Liked it when I first saw it in theaters, and for a while, I was just fine with it. But the more I started to learn more about what was cut and everything, and the way that Warner Brothers screwed over Zack Snyder with the tragedy that happened with him at the time. I've been kind of turned off to the movie. And speaking of Justice League, Tyler, did you see that new the new Steppenwolf design that they released that's going to be in the Snyder cut? It looks amazing. What I will say about Steppenwolf in Justice League is that I love the voice. It was the right voice for Steppenwolf. It's just that as far as how he looked like a freaking PS3 graphic or whatever. Not that those kinds of graphics are bad, but it's just, you have a big budget superhero movie and he should have looked a lot better. So that compared to the new design we're getting for the Snyder Cut, he looks grittier. He actually looks menacing. And again, they could still keep the same actor because I thought he did a good job. It was the right kind of voice for Steppenwolf. Even though he talked about mother too much, I thought he did a good job. But yeah, and then what came after Justice League? Was it Shazam that came after? I can't. But either way, Shazam, love it. It's another one of my favorites. I thought they were able to balance a heartfelt story with the dark tone and a bit of adult. All I know that we was talking about the mother box, but yeah, it's just hopefully there'll be some things about Steppenwolf that will be fixed as far as the dialogue and the personality. Again, they can still keep the same actor because I thought that was the right kind of actor to go for, but yeah. So I actually don't know if Shazam came after Justice League, but yeah, that was another good one. So for the most part, these DC movies, they're good. They are good, but it's just most of the time, the biggest problem is that they were clearly trying to copy the Marvel formula as far as connecting things, universe and all that. I mean, obviously, you want a DC universe, but just they rushed it and had too dark of a tone. Whereas Marvel has always consistently been able to combine, dark tones, the high stakes, and the character interactions really well, and still have that classic, well-known humor that they're known for. So hopefully, my hopes for the Snyder Cut are that they to not only make this Justice League movie better, but hopefully it can get the DCEU that we know of back on track, and maybe get Zack Snyder back to make more movies. And maybe they'll be able to fix their continuity and have a consistent continuity instead of try to do the multi-universe thing or whatever. They had Joker, and that was good. I love Joker. I will say it's probably the best DC movie I've seen, period, since the freaking Dark Knight trilogies. those three movies, but that's just me. All right, any other? Yeah, let's keep the questions going. I been on here for about an hour, but I don't want to have to end this earlier than I planned, or you know what I mean. What do I think they'll do for the next Avengers movie? Well, there's so many things I want to see. I guess unless at that point they may not have introduced the characters yet, I'd love to see the X-Men, and I'd love to see Doctor Doom as a villain. Like, obviously, a few movies before, establish him as a character or whatever, like the Thanos build-up. And then, I'd, and I think another one of the best things they can do is, because, they set up, Sa- Sam, Falcon, as kind of the next Captain America, giving him the shield and all that. Have him be the leader of the Avengers. That's who I want to be the leader. I loved Falcon ever since they first introduced him in Winter Soldier, and I hope that he's here to stay at least for a long time. He's just another one of the high characters that they still have in the MCU. That if they kill him too, that'll break me. So have him, and obviously Spider Man, and probably Hawkeye, and freaking Scarlet Witch. Probably not Doctor Strange because he mostly does his own thing, but introduce their new team of Avengers, and set them up, and kind of like how the very first Avengers film, getting them all together, and that kind of setup, kind of do that, but for the other characters like Falcon, and maybe Bucky and Spider Man, and all those, you know who I'm talking about. That Those are my expectations. I'm expecting it to be a smaller scale movie, but so long as they do the perfect type of setup and all that, then I'll be happy with whatever they do. And bring Thor back too, like have him be like a mentor type character, or maybe Sam could be that too. But you know what I mean. We got Haley in the chat. What's up, Haley? Realm of Champions. What's that? Is that like an Avengers storyline from the comics? Jesus. All right, Haley. Since you're here, I will keep this going for a little bit longer. Send in a question and huh, bit of manual labor. That's pretty cool. A game where an evil version of Hulk Maestro combines 8 alternate universes and makes them go to war with each other. Is this Marvel or is this its own thing? Oh no, wait, stupid me. It is Marvel because Hulk is in it, but stupid. That sounds interesting. And I've been meaning to ask you, did you hear about the Mortal Kombat movie that we're finally getting? Like a theatrical Mortal Kombat film? They say it's going to be faithful to the stories and have all the fatalities that people have always wanted to see. That all that good stuff. It's supposed to come out next January. So what is happening while you're gone? Mariah blew up my phone trying to chat with me on Messenger, but I was doing the stream, so but that's the reason I do these streams is to check up with you guys, see how everyone's doing, and just have a fun time. And in between times, oh, you've seen Doctor Sleep. Ha ha! I'm proud of you, Haley. You're watching horror movies. What'd you think? What did you think? I'll just say I love Doctor Sleep. Anything with Ewan McGregor in it, I will always go and see. Like that, this freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi, man. The second universe is really this is starting to sound like the what if stuff. Like these sound like great stories for what ifs. You know. Speaking of what ifs, I don't know if you knew this, Tyler, but apparently for the What If series that What If little animated What If thing that Marvel's doing for Disney Plus, apparently they're getting a lot of the original cast members from the movies to voice these characters for the most part. Some of them might be different, but for the most part I think they got everybody back. Well, again, almost everyone. That has me excited. Brother has a hoodie of horror franchises. Like I said, Haley, what did you think of Doctor Sleep? Yeah, Doctor Sleep is the second movie because the first film was called The Shining. Doctor Sleep is a sequel to The Shining. What did you think of it? That's what I want to know. War between the nine realms causes them to merge into one. I think that'd make a pretty good Marvel movie, if I must say. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I am back. You thought you thought it was good. That's good. If you're checking these out, you got to start checking out the Halloween movies. That's something I really want to start talking to you about. That and freaking Toy Story 4. You've seen the other three. That I'm. It's getting harder to hold in the spoilers for Toy Story 4. Like you got to get around to seeing that too. Me and Tyler will Tyler would back me up on the fact that it's a really good movie, and it was a necessary sequel too. A necessary sequel, just to clarify. But the fourth universe is a universe where the technology that makes Bruce Banner the Hulk affects the entire universe instead of just him. So an entire universe full of Hulks, and Bruce Banner is the only normal one. I guess that's what it is. Fifth universe is a universe where Wakanda never hid itself from the world. Well, I don't know what the story of Black Panther 2 is going to be, but I imagine something that'll happen is, the villain may try to expose Wakanda to the world, or no, that actually wouldn't make sense because T'Challa at the end of the first film said that, in a post-credit scene, said that they were gonna share their technology with the world or something like that. But I imagine something would happen where maybe like how the government wanted to take Tony Stark's technology, maybe they want to try to do the same thing with Wakanda's technology. Who thinks swimming is better? I like swimming, but I'm admittedly not very good at it. Obviously, I can obviously swim, but I'm obviously not a professional. But he said we're about an hour and 6 minutes in. I will keep this going for another 24 minutes, and if it's going good, we'll keep going. Six universes universe where the thing that brought other Spider-Man from other universes to ours brought them all to our universe. That was a mouthful. It was a mouthful. All very interesting ideas so far. I mean other things that happened, but all all very interesting. Now, Tyler, I guess I should ask, as far as the Marvel TV shows go, the TV shows that Marvel's going to be making, which one are you excited for the most? I will say that Falcon and Winter Soldier is the one I'm excited for most, with Loki being a close second, just because I love that character. Like in that little teaser that they had, during the Super Bowl, you see Loki is like, gonna burn this place to the ground. Excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier as well. So am I. I'm obviously gonna watch every everything that they put out, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the one I'm excited for the most. The seventh universe is a universe where the ancient one accidentally merges all the realities into one, like the dark dimension and the negative zone. Ouch. Now, so did you hear what I was saying earlier, Tyler? Is that I might be getting a job at the Papa Murphy's here in Sutherland soon, and if I do, that'll that'll make it harder for me to be able to think of when I'll be able to come and see you guys and do all this stuff. Not that I'm gonna stop doing it. Like it'll still be doable. It'll just be harder to do it because y'all be crammed up by a job. What do I think of Family Guy? Loved it up until it got stupid. I guess to elaborate on that, um, what's a good example to compare to? Well, before I compare it to another show, I'll just say there are times, and today, with the episodes they're putting out today, there are times where Family Guy can still be funny. It can still get a laugh out of me, and I can still enjoy it. But at the same time, I just think it's been on too long and it's just overstated its welcome. The Simpsons too, I guess I'll just add that in there. Now, a good example of how a show knows when to end was the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars was a great show because obviously there's only so much it could tell because it was limited by a certain story arc, and they had it planned out all the way through, and it got obviously it got canceled, but then the passion of the fans brought it back. So the Clone Wars is a good example of when a show knows how long to stay around and when it knows to end, but Family Guy just didn't know when to end. And again, even though it can be funny every now and then, it just needs to end. Like, but if they're gonna end it, like, I still think, even though it should have ended a long time ago, end it on a high note because despite all the bad it's had over the years, even though it's not all bad, Family Guy still deserves to end on like a high note. That's just me. And the eighth universe is a universe where Apocalypse's idea of mutant superiority is accepted instead of turned down. Alright, thanks, man. With that, I really appreciate that. Did you see that they're adding more X-Men films to Disney Plus? They got Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and now the original film, the very first one. I don't, and I guess while we're on that subject, I do not think that X-Men Dark Phoenix will end up being on Disney Plus because I think it's still on that other streaming service, HBO Max. But again, whatever they put on there, I'll be fine. Who knows, maybe they'll get Logan on there. Then again, not because Logan is rated R and Disney Plus is something for for kids, that kind of thing. All right, any more questions? All right, we got my brother in here. Am I willing to pay $30 to watch Milan? If I have the money, and if I have to, that's what I'll do. You may not have been here at the beginning of the stream, but you can probably see by the title. My idea for how they can still release Halloween Kills this year is the same thing that Disney's doing for Milan. Because like Disney is, putting Milan on Disney Plus for $30. Universal Studios can do the same thing for Halloween Kills, like put it on demand for a certain price, so that way they can still make their money back, and fans get their prize by still being able to see it this year. I'm gonna say at this point, I'm just desperate to see this movie at any cost this year. I do not want to have to wait a whole freaking year for it. $30, it's pretty high. I'll admit that. But it does show that on Disney's part that they're being smart. They figure, all right, if we're going to skip a major theatrical release, then we're not just going to put it on our streaming service for free. It's one of our major pictures. It costs $200 million to make, so we figured, all right, we'll put it on Disney Plus, but for a price, so that way we can still at least make some money back. But I will admit that because it costs $200 million to make, even for $30, I don't think it'll be able to make its money back, at least right away. But still, the reason I think that they could be successful with Halloween Kills is because the reported budget for that movie is $30 million. And say you put it on demand for around the same price as Milan, like say $20, $30, then I think they'd have a better chance of making their money back than Disney can with Mulan. But at the same time, though, it is a smart move on Disney's part for them to be doing what they're doing. The Simpsons, yes, I do think, like Family Guy, I do think that both those shows have overstayed their welcome, even though they do still do have some good moments and have had funny episodes every now and then. But they just end them like it's just. But again, like I said earlier, they're good enough and iconic enough to where they still deserve to be ended on a high note. Like Clone Wars. Clone Wars ended on a really high note, if not a somber one, and it made me cry. All right, let's see. Oh, you gotta go? All right, Tyler, later. And I cannot wait to start recording either. Just message me and let me know what day and all that, and then we'll go from there. So I'll see you later, man. They've had the final episode of The Simpsons written and on hold for years now. I did not know that. But I hope it's a good final episode, because like I said before, shows like Family Guy and The Simpsons, even though they've overstayed their welcome, been on too long, that doesn't mean that as far as an ending goes, that they should just throw out something lazy. For how iconic they are, they do deserve a high note. I like not just some random final episode. Like as far as story goes, it deserves to be ended on a high note. And yeah, that's just all I want. All right. Probably keep it going for about another 15 minutes, unless things are still going pretty well by then. Yeah. What else? Talk. I think I've talked about pretty much everything that's been on my mind. Unless more questions come up, I'll give it 2 minutes. We're about an hour 18 in. We'll give it another 2 minutes and see if another question comes in. You didn't know that either, Haley? Like I said, I didn't know that either. Maybe they're saving it for a special occasion. Like maybe they're trying to think of a proper time and a proper way to end it too. You never know. To end something on a high note, to end it on a good way, not something that's just thrown out there lazily. As far as the story goes, the characters, like give them an ending that people will remember. That kind of thing. Like like if you've seen Toy Story 3, that movie ended on a high note. It was a sad ending, but it was a high note. And even then, they still made a Toy Story 4, but I will say that movie had a ended on a high note too. Clone Wars ended on a high note, and I know a lot of people don't like the Rise of Skywalker, but I think that movie ended on a high note too, and it ended the Skywalker saga on, admittedly, a messy, but still a high enough note. So basically, a high note, like I said, is just something good, something epic, high stakes, something that people will remember. But about an hour 20 in, and I guess that's a good note to end things on. So I guess I'm actually gonna. I was gonna keep it going for about like an hour and a half, but I guess it's a good part to end this stream on. And so I guess whenever American Dad, I'm not as familiar with that show. I don't watch it as much as Simpsons or Family Guy, so I wouldn't. I mean, I watch it, but it's not as iconic, at least to me, as Simpsons or Family Guy. But like I said, I guess that's gonna do it for today's stream. And I might review Milan this like this September when it comes out, and in between time, I'll probably be doing more live streams and who knows, maybe I'll have some new ideas for videos. But until then, it was good seeing everyone in a way, answering some questions and talking with y'all. So, and hopefully Universal Pictures sees this video, this stream, and decides against like delaying the movie for a year after all with Halloween Kills. So until then, that's been today's stream. I will see y'all next time. I bid y'all adieu. Goodbye.